What if I told you that you've been studying the wrong way this whole time? Ayanokoji's mindset is not about working harder. It's about working ruthlessly smarter. While most students waste time, he learns fast, remembers everything, and stays ahead. Today, I'll show you how to do the same. Imagine studying without stress, without burnout, yet still outperforming everyone. That's the Ayanokoji way. His methods are not about motivation. They're about cold, calculated efficiency. Today, I'll reveal 7 ruthless study habits inspired by Ayanokoji's mindset that will change how you study forever. If you're ready to outsmart the system, keep watching. Let's begin. Habit number 1, the art of passive observation. Ayanokoji does not just study with books. He studies the world around him. He quietly observes everything, learning without effort. This is called passive observation, and it's a powerful way to absorb knowledge without even realizing it. Here's how you can do it. Instead of only studying when you sit with a book, train your brain to notice useful information everywhere. For example, if you're learning history, watch a short video while eating. If you're struggling with vocabulary, pay attention to new words in movies, songs, or conversations. Your brain learns best when it does not feel forced. Ayanokoji also listens more than he speaks. In class, instead of taking random notes, focus on what the teacher says. Most students write everything down, but never understand it. Instead, absorb the key ideas, then write them in your own words later. Passive observation makes studying feel effortless. The more you notice, the more you remember without even trying. Use this trick, and you'll start learning like a genius. Habit number 2, emotionless studying. Ayanokoji never lets emotions control him. He studies without stress, frustration, or distractions. Most students panic before exams, but panic does not help you learn. It only makes things worse. The secret? Detach your emotions from studying. Here's how. Treat studying like brushing your teeth. You don't get emotional about brushing your teeth, right? You just do it. Make studying a habit, not a struggle. Instead of saying, "I hate studying," say, "It's just something I do." This mindset removes stress and makes studying feel normal. Another trick? Don't wait for motivation. Ayanokoji doesn't study when he feels like it. He studies when it's time. Set a fixed study time every day, even if it's just 30 minutes. The more consistent you are, the easier it gets. Lastly, stay calm before exams. Instead of cramming, review your notes slowly and logically. When you control your emotions, your brain absorbs knowledge faster and better. Master this, and studying will never feel stressful again. Habit number 3, minimal effort, maximum output. Ayanokoji never wastes energy. He studies only what matters, no more, no less. Most students study for hours but don't actually learn much. They read the whole textbook, highlight everything, and hope for the best. That's the wrong way. Instead, focus only on the most important information. Before studying, ask yourself, what topics will be on the test? What does the teacher focus on the most? What are the key ideas I actually need to understand? Once you know this, skip the fluff. Read summaries, practice past questions, and write down only key points in your own words. Don't waste time on useless details. Another trick? Use the 80-20 rule. In most subjects, 20% of the material gives you 80% of the results. Find that 20%, master it, and move on. Ayanokoji never overworks. He outsmarts. Now apply this and watch your study time shrink while your grades rise. Habit number 4, weaponizing the Socratic method. Ayanokoji does not just memorize, he questions everything. Instead of blindly accepting information, he breaks it down, challenges it, and rebuilds it in his mind. This is called the Socratic method, and it's a powerful way to learn deeply and fast. Here's how to use it. Instead of reading a fact and moving on, ask yourself questions. Why is this true? How does this connect to what I already know? What would happen if this were different? For example, if you're studying history, don't just read, World War II started in 1939. Ask yourself, what caused it? What if it never happened? How does it affect the world today? By doing this, you force your brain to think critically, making the knowledge stick. Ayanokoji learns by analyzing, not memorizing. Stop accepting facts. Challenge them. The more you question, the more you understand. Master this habit, and you'll never forget what you study again. Habit number 5, the memory fortress technique. Ayanokoji remembers everything, not because he has a super brain, but because he knows how to store information correctly. Most students try to memorize by repeating things over and over, but that's the slowest way to learn. Instead, he uses a memory fortress, a way to store knowledge in a way that makes it impossible to forget. Here's how it works. Instead of cramming random facts, connect new information to something you already know. Your brain works best when it links ideas together. For example, if you're trying to remember a historical date, attach it to something familiar, like your birthday or a famous event. The stronger the connection, the easier it is to recall later. Another trick is visualization. Picture what you're learning in your head like a movie scene. If you're studying science, imagine the chemical reactions happening in real life. This makes information stick because your brain remembers images better than words. Ayanokoji never memorizes blindly. He builds a system where everything connects, making his mind a fortress of knowledge. If you train your brain like this, forgetting will no longer be a problem. Habit number 6, silence is a weapon. Ayanokoji rarely speaks in class, but that doesn't mean he is not paying attention. In fact, his silence is a strategy. While others talk without thinking, he listens, analyzes, and absorbs everything. Most students try to prove they're smart by answering every question, but real intelligence isn't about speaking, it's about understanding. When you stay silent, you allow yourself to fully focus. Instead of rushing to respond, take time to process the information. Pay attention to how teachers explain concepts, how other students ask questions, and what mistakes they make. The more you observe, the more you learn without extra effort. Silence also helps in exams. When you see a difficult question, don't panic or rush to answer. Stay calm, analyze the question carefully, and think like Ayanokoji, logically and without emotion. By training yourself to listen more and speak only when necessary, you will understand concepts better and make fewer mistakes. In the world of studying, silence isn't weakness. It's a secret weapon. Habit number 7, thinking 10 steps ahead. Ayanokoji never waits until the last moment. He always plans ahead, predicting problems before they happen. Most students start studying only when exams are near, rushing to cram everything. But by then, it's already too late. The secret to mastering any subject is to stay ahead of the game. Instead of waiting for deadlines, start reviewing topics the moment they are taught. Even a few minutes of early revision makes a huge difference. If you go through your notes every day, by the time exams arrive, you won't need to panic. You'll already know everything. Ayanokoji also studies in a way that prepares him for every possible question. Instead of just memorizing answers, he studies in a way that allows him to predict what will come in the test. Pay attention to patterns in your teacher's past exams and focus on key topics that are most likely to appear. The best students don't just study hard, they study smart. By thinking ahead, you won't just pass your exams, you'll dominate them. You now have Ayanokoji's secret weapons. These 7 ruthless study habits separate the average from the exceptional. But here's the real test. Will you actually use them? Most students will watch this and forget everything in a few hours. But the ones who think ahead, stay calm, and study smart will rise above the rest. The choice is yours. Be average, or be unstoppable. If you're ready to master your studies like Ayanokoji, drop a Ruthless Mode on in the comments. And if you truly want to stay ahead, subscribe, not because I told you to, but because you know knowledge is power, and power should never be wasted.